All right, guys, I'm Andrew Wolfe. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about Boulder, Colorado. Now, obviously, Boulder, Colorado is a destination for a lot of folks and for a lot of really good reasons. But before you choose to make Boulder your next home, I think it's important that you ask yourself these 7 questions just to make sure it's a good fit. Now, question number 1 is probably the least fun, but I think it's very important. And that's, first of all, can I afford to live in Boulder, Colorado? Obviously, the cost of living is going to be quite a bit higher here, not just housing, but things like groceries and gasoline, childcare, pet care, health care. Anything you can think of is just a little bit elevated here, with the exception of taxes. Those are going to be a little bit more affordable than you might see elsewhere, but it doesn't, outweigh the increased cost of the other items. So you have to weigh that against kind of the lifestyle you're going to experience here, right? Obviously, if the outdoor, vibrant lifestyle, tight-knit community feel is good for you, then it's worth exploring. But make sure that you have the funds and you're able to enjoy the lifestyle that you want to partake in by living here. No sense of moving here and being stuck in your house because you can't afford to go out and do things. So make sure that you're lining up your lifestyle with the cost of living. If you could do that, Boulder is going to be an excellent place to start. Speaking of lifestyle, question number 2 is, do you value lifestyle and living experience over space inside your home? Homes in Boulder are generally going to be a little bit smaller than you might see elsewhere, certainly when you're kind of factoring in cost per square foot or the overall value of your dollar to the size of your home. You're probably going to need a little bit smaller home here. The trade-off obviously is getting access to the awesome lifestyle of living in Boulder, whether you like the outdoor experience we've talked about, just want that tight-knit community feel, or you want to take advantage of some of the awesome dining, breweries, and cafes that Boulder has to offer. It's a really unique living experience, but you're probably going to have a little bit smaller space in your individual home. So make sure you're weighing that cost of living versus lifestyle experience, the size of my home, the size of my living space versus the lifestyle I get to live by living here. All right, question number 3, is outdoor living important to you? Outdoor living here, like we've talked about in the past, isn't really an option. It's kind of thrusted upon you by living in Boulder. So you're going to get invited to go on hikes and biking trails throughout the city. You're going to get invited up to kind of a cool little walk on Chautauqua State Park. You're going to get invited out to Eldora Mountain to hit the slopes. And really just the general outdoor lifestyle here is going to foist itself upon you. So make sure that if you're going to choose to make Boulder your home, that your lifestyle aligns with the values of the community here. Outdoor living has to be important to you. So that's an important question to ask yourself before you choose to make the move. Question number 4 you got to ask yourself is, does your values and social experience align with the social values of the city of Boulder itself? It's going to be a very different culture here. It's unique. You literally can't go anywhere in Boulder without seeing a bumper sticker that says, "Keep Boulder weird." So some of those things they value are going to be healthy living, very wellness and sustainability focused lifestyle, really enjoying the outdoor as well. So if you're going to align yourself in here and choose to make it your home, you want to make sure that you're not going to have too much friction there. I'm not saying you should change yourself to align yourself with how Boulder works, but obviously you want to feel comfortable and you want to feel like you're a part of the community and you want to be able to get involved in some of the community activities out here. So just make sure you're trying to do your best to due diligence to see just how Boulder functions and making sure that you're going to feel comfortable here functioning as a part of the community here as well. All right, question number 5 you got to ask yourself is, what kind of pace of life do you really want here? Boulder's going to have a smaller community. It's a smaller town feel. The college is a super big part of the population, but obviously they're not here year round. When the school's off, they tend to go home, or some of them stick around, but it's definitely not going to have the same population size when the school is not in session. So if you're okay with that smaller, a little more peaceful, serene lifestyle, Boulder's going to be a great fit. If you really like that higher paced lifestyle, that you want to have that urban feel, Denver's probably a better fit. Or if you're even looking for a little more rural lifestyle, you might want to look in some of the surrounding areas like Larkspur, some other communities nearby. So Boulder's got a unique fit. It's a unique vibe, a unique experience. You want to make sure it really fits your lifestyle expectations before you choose to make Boulder your home. All right, question number 6, guys, is, are you okay with the size of Boulder and really from that perspective being part of a smaller, tight-knit community? People who come from the larger cities enjoy kind of the unique privacy that comes with being in such a big place and having so many people that you can kind of cut yourself off and have your own privacy in your own life. Boulder being a tight-knit community, you still have plenty of privacy inside your own home, but you're going to see people much more often. The community is going to be much more active than you might have experienced, right? So the community's got a small town feel, so you're going to know your neighbors, they're going to know you, and you're going to be able to interact much more often. And that can be off-putting for some people who aren't used to that kind of small town lifestyle. So make sure you're okay with being in a tighter knit community where you don't have, privacy is not exactly the right word, but you have more visibility and your lifestyle is going to be more well known and you're going to be involved in your neighbor's life than them in yours. So if you want to be part of a community, Boulder's a good fit. All right, so question number 7 right here is going to be a bit of a cheat, transparently. It's going to kind of encompass everything we haven't talked about so far. Anybody and everybody can really choose to make Boulder their home and really love it and love being part of the community here. It's a great fit for professionals, for families, for retirees, for anyone you can think of, and they all choose to make Boulder their home for different reasons. But there's kind of the little bit quality of life, is it right for me right now, situations we have to ask ourselves about, right? Start off with an easy one, commuting, right? So if you currently work in Denver, are you comfortable commuting into the city frequently and kind of putting that extra miles on your car, the extra cost of gas, and obviously the time in your car is time not spent enjoying your community here in Boulder. So you have to factor that in. If you're a remote worker, maybe that's not a big of a consideration. Another thing to think about is the weather, climate, and also the altitude going to be something that's a good fit for you. Boulder tends to be a little more mild. There's a ton of sunshine here, but you're not going to get as much snow as you might get elsewhere. So if you're coming from a place that's very dry or maybe has no precipitation, the snow that we do get here could be a big change. And if you are coming from sea level, the altitude is certainly going to be a consideration. We've talked about it this whole video, and I've talked about it a lot in my other videos. Outdoor lifestyle and living a very active, healthy lifestyle in general is a big part of why people choose to make Boulder their home. So if you're adjusting to the altitude here, it's going to take you a while to get into your rhythm. There's ways to work through it. Make sure you're staying active, make sure you're drinking plenty of water, making sure you're eating plenty of good food, and you'll bounce into your normal routine pretty quickly. But it's definitely a consideration. So kind of, I guess, bringing it all together here is, after question number 7 gets answered, you have to think about, what does quality of life mean to you? How do you balance all the pros and cons we talked about, the increased cost versus the outdoor lifestyle, the small tight-knit community that you're going to be a part of now? How do you balance all of that together and make sure it's a good fit for you? Again, it's my opinion that anybody can choose to make Boulder their home and really, really love it, but you want to make sure that the lifestyle that you're choosing here in Boulder and the community you're choosing to be a part of is a really great fit for you now, in the near future, and in the long term. People who do well here really have a long-term commitment to the area. It's a higher cost of entry, so you want to get that return later. And as Boulder continues to perform well from a housing perspective, you're really going to leverage that to have a great investment in the long term, but your daily life is going to be spent in the community, living the lifestyle here in Boulder, so making sure it's a good fit for you before you choose to make that investment is going to be important. Now again, guys, I really thank you for taking the time to listen to me today. I love talking about Boulder. I love talking to each and every one of you and making this video for you guys, but I really love connecting more directly. So please go ahead and give me a call, phone, text, email, whatever works for you. And go ahead and leave a comment below. Love to hear from you guys. Have a great day. See you real soon.